Hi guys, in order to divide people, you need a common enemy. Right-wing governments have been doing this for a long time. The enemy can be external, such as a foreign power or bloc. Like when it comes to Brexit, it's either the EU or the French. But when it's internal, it may be teachers, firefighters, nurses, or as of late, rail workers. Grant Shapps, the Transport Secretary, has been trying to push the narrative that the public are angry with rail workers striking because it disrupts their travel. Well, that doesn't seem to be the case, and the BBC dropped this embarrassing bombshell for the government. Have a listen.
It may depend on the court of public opinion.
Rachel, you mentioned public opinion at the end there. How would you sum up the mood of people today?
Well, actually it was quite surprising. Although a lot of people had frustration with their journey or couldn't make their journey at all, I did ask the question how they felt about the strike, and not one person condemned it. There was in fact quite a lot of support for the right to strike.
See, she says it was surprising, but it's surprising if you believe the narrative, if you believe Grant Shapps and Boris Johnson and the Tory government narrative that people are angry with the rail workers, when in reality they're not, because they understand that they're fighting for their rights. And it's not just about the cost of living crisis. We know that many of their rights are being taken away. The government are taking a very hardline approach on this, talking about if people go on strike, they're going to bring in legislation that will just replace them with agency workers. And the more people understand this, the more they understand, yes, we need to support them. It's very frustrating, the disruption, but they understand the need for this disruption. They understand the need to go on strike, because they understand also that yes, today it's rail workers, but tomorrow it could be them. And in this post-Brexit world, the government are pushing more and more to remove workers' protections. They talked about, yes, before Brexit, yes, once we leave the EU, we'll have better worker protections. No, they're going in the opposite direction. And a few days ago, Liz Truss was talking about bringing in legislation if she's elected Prime Minister, from within the party, of course. If she becomes Prime Minister, she's going to introduce legislation that will punish these striking workers. Now, she didn't go into detail. But instead of sitting down with workers, sitting down with trade unions, sitting down with the companies and trying to agree some sort of settlement, no, she's talking about bringing in legislation. And she attacked the so-called militant unions, because this is also a part of the language here, trying to use language that will create division. They're militant trade unionists. They're not interested in solutions. They just want to fight. Obviously, that's not the case. And some weeks ago, this was exposed by Mick Lynch when he was asked questions by Kay Burley of Sky News, where she was expecting him to talk about beating people up or something if they cross the picket line. And he said, no, we just ask people not to cross the picket line. It's not working out very well for the government. They were hoping that this would drive a wedge between, the strikes would drive a wedge between workers and the public. But the public understand there's a cost of living crisis. They're suffering it too. They understand that if you have the ability to strike, you should do that. There is disruption, it's frustrating, but it seems ordinary people are backing the workers, which is important, and let's hope that it's maintained. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.